Hello guys, welcome to the next video tutorial on C programming for beginners. In the last video I've shown you what are arrays in C and how to use arrays in C, and I have given an example to you how to declare and use a single dimensional array. So I have shown you can declare an array like this, and array can contain more than one values of same data type in a single variable. In a similar way, if you want to declare a multi-dimensional array, you can do it like this. So this is a single dimensional array, and if you want to declare a multi-dimensional array, you can do it like this. For example, you want to declare 2 cross 3 cross 4 three-dimensional array. This is the declaration of three-dimensional array. Or if you want to declare a four-dimensional array, you can do it like this. But most simplest form of multi-dimensional array is a two-dimensional array, and this is how you can declare this two-dimensional array, right? So this is the declaration of two-dimensional array of 2 cross 3. Here 2 cross 3 means this array, if you can imagine in the form of a square or a table, this 2 is like a row for your array, and 3 is like a column numbers of your array. So let's see how we can initialize this array first. So you just give a bracket, and in these two curly braces you can declare your array. So first of all, we will define our row 0. So this will be our row 0, and I will move this up, and row 1. Okay, so I will just define two rows first, because our array contains two rows if we see this, and three columns, right? So columns are like straight lines or column, right? So for example, 1 comma 3 comma 2 are the columns of row 0, and for example 5 comma 6 comma 8 are the elements of first or second row of index 1, and it has three columns like 5, 6 and 7. So this is a two-dimensional array, and it contains two rows and three columns. How it contains two rows? This is the first row, so row 1 of or index 0, right? So index of array starts from 0. So this is row 1 logically, but if you see in terms of C, this will be row 0, right? And this will be row 1, right? Because index of the array starts from 0. And then these are the columns. So first column is for 1 and 5, and second column contains 3 and 6, and third column contains 2 and 8. Okay, now in order to iterate over these values, you can use for loop, but a single for loop will not work in the case of this two-dimensional array. You need to use two for loop, so loop inside a loop to iterate all the values in this array. So for iterating over these values, you can do it like this. So you can just write a first for loop for, and then this for loop will be for the rows. Okay, so I will declare a variable I, or int I is equal to 0, and this will be I will be less than 2, which is number of rows, right? These are the number of rows you have. Okay, and then I plus plus, which is our increment operator, and inside this for loop we will declare one more for loop. So inside this curly braces of this for loop we will declare one more for loop for columns. So for int j is equal to 0 and j should be less than the number of rows. So number of rows in our case is 3, right? So just write 3 here and then j plus plus. Okay, so this is loop inside the loop to iterate the values. So first loop will iterate over the rows and the second loop will iterate over the columns, right? Now in order to print all the values inside your column for loop, this loop, you can just write printf and the name of your array, for example this one, just inside the brackets just write this and then just write percentage d here and then percentage d here is equal to, this should be percentage d and this should be equal to percentage d, right? So this will be the value of array and we will also print the index of the array, right? So we have the, here it will show the row, here it will show the column and here it will show the value, right? So we have a row here, so rows are iterated by I, so just write I here, comma, the columns are iterated by j, so just write j here, and the values can be iterated by your array index. So just write the name of your array and then the value of I, which is a row indicator, and value of j, which is your column indicator, right? Now I will just give this next line here so that it will iterate every time in the next line. Okay, I will compile and run this program and it says the program contains some problem. Let's see what's the problem here. Yeah, so I think this curly brace is extra here, this should do, right? And these are rows and columns. So just compile it once again and now it runs. So you can see it prints the row and index of the array, right? So at 0 0, so at 0th row and 0th column we have the value 1, which is true. This is at 0th row and 0th column. Okay, at row 0 and column 1 we have the value 3. This is right, this is row 0, so row 0 is this one, and column 1, so 0 and 1, so column 1 is this one, value is 3. That's correct. Row 0 and column 2 is this one, and 0 1 2, so this is the value which is 2, which is correct here. Now comes the row 1, which is this row, value, column 0, which is this value, which is 5. In the same way it will print all the values of your two-dimensional array. So in this way you can iterate over your array using two for loop. So this is a simplest kind of multi-dimensional array and it's called two-dimensional array. In a similar way, if you want to declare some other array, two-dimensional array with some other dimension, you can do it like this. For example, your array must contain 3 rows, you can just do it like this. So row 1 we have 0 and 1 we have, and we will just write the row third, or by index it's row 2, right? And this is row 2. Okay, So you can do it like this. So I hope you have understood the basic concept of multi-dimensional arrays, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.